everybody. It is so good to see you. This is the earliest I've ever done a live stream, but as I did mention last night, oh, and look, there goes my timer. Perfect timing. As I did mention last night, I wanted to be able to come in and spend a little time with you guys this morning just to see where the gold foil auction would land. This is the first gold foil auction for Heloise the Hollow. And my goodness, it did not disappoint. We got about 37 minutes left. As promised, I told you I got my coffee here. I'm getting my morning started. I am delaying my my gym routine this morning to hang out with you guys now. So I probably won't stream later just because I got to hit the gym. There's a bunch of other things I got to take care of before I head to the airport for some travel for the holidays. But it is fantastic to spend some time with you. Now, here's the thing. 36 minutes remaining. And you can see here that we are now at 7.5 million DEC. Cryptomancer does not play around. And I was wrong. Last night I said, we probably wouldn't see too many other bids, and that it was just going to be, everybody was just waiting to see how things would shake out. And we'd probably see more fireworks towards the end. I was wrong. I've been historically very wrong when it comes to this. I'm just shocked to see how many people and how much people are spending on these cards. So this once again shot through my prediction. I thought 5 million was going to be more than enough. But here's the thing, right? As I said, Cryptomancer's not playing around. If you follow this, we kind of ended last night. I think Azarcon did this, the 5.12. Venari Syndicate came up with 5.15. Housewife for the win, topped them at 5.16. Cryptomancer then comes in with a cool 6 million. I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with all this riffraff. Housewife tops them by 10. And then Cryptomancer's like, oh, you think I'm playing? And adds pretty much another 1.5 million DEC. Just to be like, yeah, get off me. Nobody's gonna take this from me. So maybe that was the fireworks. Maybe it's happened already. But I figured we'd hang out and see if there's anybody else that wants to come in and snipe for 7.51 million DEC. I mean, that is a lot. So we were looking at Azarcon's credits yesterday, just because he's the only one, and we can track it there. So let's see. If we go to rich list. Okay, rich list and where's credits? There it is. It's nice to see Bitcoin at about the 93 range too. All right, so Azarcon, I mean, as of now, does not have the appropriate amount of credits to be able to go in and compete. So I don't know if he's bowing out, but there's that. He could always add more credits, but we'll see. So yeah, we'll just kind of follow this. Let me jump into the chat. See if some of you other folks are live nice and early with me. We got Onk12. What's going on? Smash a like. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. Yvonne says, I predicted closer to 10 million than to 5. Well, you know what? We're splitting the difference right now. it's the perfect average in between where I thought and where you'd be. We shall see. Currently right in the middle. Yeah. New Age. What's going on, man? Early stream. Yeah. So I'm one, I wanted to catch the Heloise ending. And then 2, I'm traveling later today. So doing a stream in the middle of the day was always going to be a challenge. Doing a stream at all today was going to be a challenge, but I was like, you know what? If I'm going to hop on, I might as well hop on for the end of the Heloise stream or end of the Heloise sale and kind of go from there. I did think about maybe jumping in for a second live stream later, but I think that's going to be asking for too much trouble. We'll see. But I'm sure most of the US is not really awake right now. I know you're ahead of me in terms of time zones. So Yvonne says, saw your video about no soulbounds in hardcore. What happens when we can no longer unlock these summoners? You think you got all these cards, but someone says no more in ranked, so you don't have these cards? Well, I don't think there will ever be an issue with them in ranked. I mean, yeah, I guess things could change in the future. I this is such a complex and moving situation. Um, I don't believe that we will. Again, and I could get this wrong, right? But that would be a dagger for the game. That would be like a nail in the coffin if the team went that route, because it's like they give you a limited time to unlock the cards. You have the option. You're not told about anything in the future that's going to change, and I think something like that would be just as devastating, if not more devastating, than the wild pass, right? And I say that not even as somebody who like disliked the wild pass, because I understood why they had to do it, right? But I think there were a lot of bots that left. There might have been a lot of players that decided to leave at that time, and this would be something that would be even more disastrous in that arena, and it would not have the intended effect. Well, maybe it would have the intended effect, but it wouldn't have the same kind of standing that the wild pass did. So when the wild pass, like, it's just like you were, yeah, I'm just going to compare it to the wild pass. And again, I understand why the wild pass exists, so I'm not saying that they wouldn't be able to find another reason, but I don't. This is really far-fetched, and I can't imagine it yet. Let me put it this way. It's not like if they would have to create a way for you to be able to play with those cards still, if it ever went that route. Because like with the wild pass, you're no longer able to, play for free, but those cards still have value either on land or in guilds and brawls and tournaments, right? So they didn't just make them completely unusable. So I do not see a future in which they make all these, cards, soulbound cards, completely unusable. No longer have the option. Oh yeah, I think we're understanding the same thing. William says Central Time for me too. We are early birds today. Yeah, man, I'm always up. I don't know why, man. I wish I could sleep past 6 a.m. because last night I was up too late, doing nothing productive. I finished all the stuff that I wanted to finish, and then I sat down and I was like, I watched I know I keep talking about it, but I watched Gladiator 2 over the weekend, and I was itching to watch the first one again to see if it was as good as I remembered it, just to compare it to Gladiator 1 or to Gladiator 2. And I ended up watching too much of it. And I was like, shoot, I gotta get to bed. But yes, phenomenal movie. Classic, one of the best. A perfect movie, in my opinion. Yvonne says, yeah, exactly. That would make Matt a liar if they did that. And some of the mods were saying, oh yeah, we'd be fine if we limited them to 2 years or something. Yeah, again, I don't see a scenario in which they completely remove all utility. Those cards will have some kind of game mode in the future. And if they don't, then again, that's a nail in the coffin. That would be pretty severe. Brandon, what's going on? Good morning. All right, do the proceeds from the auction go to the team or the DAO? It all goes to the DAO. Everything goes to the DAO. So we are actually looking quite good on this right now. We're going to cross 30 million, probably 32.5 million with this. And that is a very significant amount. Yvonne says that was a few months ago. All right, so Brandon says, totally agree with solo cards not allowed in survival mode. Yeah, it just makes sense, man. If the whole point of survival mode is to use up to give utility to a lot of these cards and these extra cards, don't include the ones that were printed into oblivion or the current ones that are printed infinitely, right? We're trying to give value to the actual NFTs. So again, just from a principle standpoint, it doesn't make sense. Ox says, what's your thoughts on the draft proposal? What's the draft proposal? Uh-oh. Is there a new proposal in the mix? Am I missing something here? I didn't see a new proposal. Let me check. I don't see a new proposal. I saw the one on Rift Watchers added to the things, which I did vote for. I was failing. All right, that's fine. I don't know what draft proposal you're talking about, or at least it's not a proposal. So, interesting comparison to Wild Pass. Again, they're different things. But I'm talking about the devastating effect that they would have on the current player base. A lot of people left because of the Wild Pass. A lot of bots left because of the Wild Pass. But it was necessary to shore up one of the most egregious areas of exploit. Now, could we have a situation in the future where there could be an egregious area of exploit? Well, yeah, I'm trying to call it out right now that it should not be allowed in hardcore mode, because then people will just spin up all these alt accounts that can just continue mining SPS, which is not cool. All right, Harris says, good morning, crypto fam. What's going on, man? Supreme Victory Studios says, I would love to see a small batch of new gladiators released. Give the brawlers a little bit of love. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but it just feels like there's all these new cards coming out left and right. Now, the thing is, we do have some players that are maxing out or starting to max out their gladiators. So, yeah, I guess it's not. I wouldn't mind seeing a second batch come in at some point in 2025. Once they've gotten all of their things on the agenda done, then maybe like a second half of 2025 type of thing would be cool. Like, keep the first batch of gladiators in there, and then just come up with a second like gladiator pack set. Bought some obsidian and such for $12 max. Wow, nice. Yeah, Cryptomancer spending the SPL paycheck well. I mean, you know, some people just they gotta have it. I mean, so we're what, 25 minutes? This is such a statement from Cryptomancer that I don't know. I don't. Does anybody here? Is anybody here planning on jumping in? Does anybody want to tip their hat a little bit? It's quite the move from Cryptomancer. I mean, he literally went and increased his bid 25%, and we're in the millions of DEC at this point. Like, this was a statement saying this is mine. So, I mean, and I get it. Like, he's not trying to play games, right? He's not trying to be like, oh, let me go up 10 or 20 or even 100. Like, if you want to roll with the big boys, you got to be ready to spend, and you got to be ready to compete up here, right? Head and shoulders above everybody else with their little pitter patter DEC amounts. But we shall see. All right. So Brandon says, I'm not. I just have popcorn and watching. Whoever is planning to outbid him is waiting to put 7.502 million last moment. You know what? Actually, okay, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. And I'm not going to say anything about it. But I want until afterwards, maybe. But in the amounts that have been thrown out, I just realized, I don't know how I forgot about this, but I just realized that 7.5 was not the highest that I heard out there. So maybe I take it back. Maybe there could be some fireworks, because I'm like 99% sure it's real, but I definitely heard some other amounts out there of how much people are willing to spend. I don't know. I guess I forgot it until now. Now, look, I'm not. You know what? I'm not trying to bid up the price. So, like, it's not me. I'm not going to reveal any names or anything like that. And you know what? I'm just even going to take that back. All I'm saying is I'm here and I'm excited to watch to see if there's any last minute things, which, you know, this is higher than I expected, but there's some names out there that that haven't been heard from yet. if they're going to be heard from. And we have, you know what, what's the counter at? We have 22 minutes remaining. So Blockchain Project says, great to see SPL team members believe enough in their own game to put money where their mouth is. Yeah, absolutely. All right, playing with the big boys now, indeed. How many gold foils of this card will be minted? Only 5. And this is going to be number 1001. Yeah, Matt. Oh, see, there's another one. Matt wants one too. But I don't know if this is like above what Matt, you know. I also wonder, you know, it's like Matt's in an interesting position. Like, he's the CEO and the founder of the company. Like, I know there's in one way it's like good when we see, you know, team members, as somebody just mentioned, right? To see team members going in and like buying these products. But at the same time, like, does Matt, like, we're Matt's customers. Do we really want to be outbid by him? Like, I can see him going for like, not this first one, but maybe some of the other ones, right? Because I'd say for him, okay, as the CEO and the founder of this company, what's more beneficial for him? For him to have the best cards in the game, or for other players, his customers, to be able to have that flex of having, you know, the best cards in the game? Like, I don't think Matt needs that. If anything, it's better in the long run for him, as long as he gets one, which can be 2 through 5. So, you know what? I haven't talked to Matt, so this is me just thinking in my own head and projecting onto Matt. I don't think that he would get involved in the first one. I think he wants one. There's no doubt. But I don't think he would want 001. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other people out there, and the last thing you want to do is like get outbid by the CEO of the company, and you'd be like, "Oh, this sucks. This guy, this guy takes my money and then uses it against me." So, yeah, I don't think Matt's gonna get involved in this one. Just my personal thought. I have no idea. I think things could change. Oh, yes, we know. It's not you. Brandon says, I know what you're talking about. I too have heard higher, whether that is acted on. Okay, so yeah, I've heard a couple of higher numbers, and I don't know why I didn't think about it until now. And again, the 5 million was like before we went into this, right? I thought 5 million was going to be, I thought even just 5 million by itself was going to be enough, or too high. Obviously, everything has been rearranged for me. Everything has been you know, the perspective has shifted. The goalposts have shifted, right? I did not expect the first 19 to go for over $1 million a piece, over like 1.3 million maybe on average. So, yeah. Yvonne says, haha, that's funny. Takes my money and uses it against me. I mean, again, it's just more of a euphemism, but it's a little truth to it, right? Like, you don't want to be outbid by the guy you're paying. That's kind of dumb. So, my guess is he goes for one of the later ones. Maybe the last one. Brandon says, I could see this gold foil and the last gold foil being highest DEC. If the last card timing aligns with another leg up in the bull run, watch out. Well, you know, let's take a look at that. I think, I mean, keep in mind, there's still like almost 3 months, guys. Almost 3 months of this. Like, this goes into mid-February, and I have been tracking 2024 versus 2020, and then you know, the basically the bull runs and how they're overlaid with each other, and it is wild how much they are like correlated with one another. It's so crazy to me. So like, even the Thanksgiving dip seems to be telegraphed, and so as I look through, it's like I think there might be a couple of legs up between now and February, which obviously we all want to see, right? So William says, what has the price trend for regular foil been like over the auction? I mean, it's been relatively consistent at the 1.3 mark. So yeah, 1.3. I mean, Vet V, well done, getting it for just over $1 million. Red Viper and Indigoth shortly after that, but then Azrakhan was like, yeah, I'm going to set the floor on this for 1.3. But Azrakhan has been consistently setting the floor on all the bids at 1.3 since that time frame. And now he just got his second one here, right? This 1.3. So I don't know who's going to be setting the bids in the future. Once we start this next one, we'll see where it's at. But if you go here, right, maybe Miradorm is still willing to pay 1.3. Yeah, it's just him and Miradorm kind of competing up there. Because, see, he sets the floor and then Miradorm wants it. So my guess is that maybe the number 21 goes, or number 20, I guess, goes to Miradorm. And then everybody else is kind of bowed out, right? See, nobody's really, like, as soon as Azrakhan sets that floor, it's like, okay, I'm not going to bother. Did Loving the Moo get theirs? Yeah, Loving the Moo got theirs. Tide Pod Oreos got theirs. Like, the only other one that I'm seeing here is now Woody for 1 million. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sharp or steep decline immediately to the 1 point, or just 1 million, right? And maybe even less than that, right? Like, Woody's here at 750. You got Shermanator 850. No, maybe 1 million. Jarvie hasn't gotten his. Bubkey hasn't gotten his, so maybe 1.1. Oh, Brave Tofu hasn't gotten his yet. So, but the thing is, like, if you don't have a top 20, are you as, like, worried? Like, I mean, what's the notional value of that now? Yvonne says, I knew 5 million just wouldn't cut it. Think about it. People bidding multiple copies for 1.3 non-gold foil. Yeah, well, again, my 5 million was before this whole thing even started. And I just never updated it, right? So I suppose I'm not surprised. If 1.3, like, what's 1.3 times 5? I don't want to do that math in my head right now. 3 times 5. 6.5. So, I mean, I don't know why. For some reason, I always had, like, 1-ish million for the regular foil and 5 million for the gold foil. So 6.5 is where you would think that this would be, which we were close to, right? Actually, that, I would say 6.5 is more in line with what the value of this card should be. Because if you look at the bid history, everything kind of stopped once we reached 6 million, right? There weren't that many people competing. And then Cryptomancer was like, send the nukes. I'm like, we're going to make a statement. So, less than 15 minutes now, though. Brand says, show the chart of the overlay. I'm curious. It's so... It's a bunch of different random charts that I've seen floating around X. There's only been two main things, right? So somebody was looking at October first, right? So October, like October's previously or in the past have had a very, like, slow start to the month, but then midway through the month things start taking off, right? Then you look at the election, so November, right, in 2020 and then 2024, and we've seen as soon as the election hits, we start running up, right? Even in 2020, we were like ranging around like the 12, 13K, and then all of a sudden we shot up from 13 to 19, which doesn't seem like a lot, but understand, like, things were so different back then. That was a 50%, almost a 50% increase back in 2020, which was huge because all of a sudden we were like flirting with new all-time high. Oh, hey, they're doing Clay and Blaze are doing a Spaces, so if you guys want to go check that out, I totally understand. I'm gonna be hanging out here though. And if you want, I guess I could pull up their Spaces so we can listen to it in the background, but whatever you guys want. Um. Oh, so that's that. And then this run goes from basically like the end of the election, and both of them ended around like November 25th, right? Or November 20 something. And it's like the week of Thanksgiving, we both have a dip. So back in 2024, that was the last thing that I saw. So now it's like 3 for 3 kind of. And again, just kind of roughly following it. So that's why I was looking ahead on the previous live streams and thinking to myself, like, okay, this dip might stick around, because we saw the dip in 2020. We saw Bitcoin chop in the 17 to 19K range for about 3 weeks until mid-December. So sure, could Bitcoin like absolutely take off this week or later on or whatever, next week? It could, but I'm just kind of like mentally preparing myself, because we're kind of 3 for 3 following that pattern, right? Everybody says this time is different, but it's really not. So I don't know. In that way, I'm like, if we chop around in the 90s, maybe high 80s, 90s for the next 3 weeks, and then we take off like mid-December, like December 15th onwards, that'll be 4 for 4, which means we run right from mid-December through early January. We top out around I don't know, I think it was like January 10th that we basically from mid-December, so December 16th to January 10th of 2020, 2021 respectively, we went from 20K or just below 20K to a little over 40K, which was a 2x, which again, we essentially did a 50% gain, right? We went from 60K, right, in October up to like 90K or 60 whatever K up to 90K. So it's a 50% gain. Percentage wise, everything looks the same, which means could we see a massive run up from mid-December to early January? We do the 2x that we saw in 2020 and 2021, meaning we run from just under 100K all the way up to 200K, and then we cool off for a bit, right? We cool off for a bit, maybe until like late February, and I don't know, I'll have to go look at the charts again. But again, I'm just using that as a mental like template. This time could be different. I just refuse to believe it until I see it, just because we've seen so many things play out exactly the same way as previous cycles. Oh, the timer isn't updating. 10 minutes left. All right, 10 minutes left. Bid history hasn't changed. So that's my thought there. I think the price will be manipulated for some time, over 1.3 million until they get to manage. Too many to manage. Okay, well that'd be great. So previous users, can I get a show of hands? Who else thinks the battle needs to be reworked? They need to add old ending where they could fade away into the background. The ending feels rushed. I mean, I have my gripes with the new thing, but I'm sure they'll iterate on it. All right, Brandon, I'll pull up the spaces. We'll just have it here in the background if you guys don't mind the secondhand audio. Let's see. Join space.
It was coming down to the line.
Let me know if you guys can hear it, okay?
I went into the chat and I was like, hey, you got like a couple minutes to outbid Cryptomancer here at the finish line. And he was like, gee, thanks for reminding people. And then you had like 2 people come in trying to snipe it at the end. But yeah, well, whenever I saw that guy come in, Legendary Canary, he comes in at 10:59:48 and it's ending at 11. Somehow Cryptomancer had time to like throw it down, get in there, and like snipe it at like the literal last like millisecond.
I see that. I wonder how that works like on the back end, because it's on the dot.
Yeah, like I was like, that would have been interesting if it like actually canceled out of this bid and just said like you weren't in time. But yeah, I mean like it's literally like a second.
Yeah. No, and he didn't.
Wait, Cryptomancer has a regular flow too. I did not realize that. Wow.
It's not like he keyed in and out like he did on this one.
He was just clicking like as fast as he could to get like the whatever the minimum, just get a bid in, and like I was shocked because there's like 3-second block times and still gotta go through like the double confirm. So he had me sitting there whatever that did to, and then just like threw it down and like ASAP as soon as he got out bid.
I'm gonna have Discord up too. I want to see what people are talking about.
History to see. I can't believe we're already at 20. Right? All of them have closed over 1 million.
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't know why. podcast camp were chatting on the aura. Get out, get on X and start making some posts. Like, get some people looking. Let's make some noise.
Yeah, well, I think that there's a lot of good noise already for our little community. It's timing too, right? East Coast is just waking up. CA is still sleeping.
Yeah. Because shit, it's like almost 6 a.m. for like Cali time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep.
Do you think Cryptomancer's wife knows about his bid? Bro, this is his job. She's either got to be all in or she's, you know. I bet you she's. I wonder if she's a Swindlins player.
Yeah.
I met her and his daughter at Splinterfest, so they all came through.
It's like one of those like wasteful things. It's like why overcomplicate life for like no tangible benefit?
You know that the joke is that crypto is a wife-changing event, so. The idea is Cryptomancer's been through so many bull runs, so she's got to be down with it.
Yeah, it looks like today he's currently on a mission where he's hiding from Chip Kramer. He's trying to avoid that Kramer curse.
Yeah, I saw him peeking out of the box there.
Yeah, Chip Kramer does stuff with the death metal like every board. Now he's being bullish about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and he said maybe a few other coins. So you can see how the market's taking it. But
Azracon's typing in the chat.
Jim Kramer giving us the big green flag for all season. He's like, I'm gonna prove it.
Oh, he just said no suspense. I think that means he's out.
Give you guys a nice little off season.
It's fun to speculate about all that stuff.
All right, so Azracon is no longer a contender,
So we got about 5 minutes left.
unless he's saying the opposite. He just said no suspense, whatever that means.
Man, I tried beating Crypto Eater out on Twitter, but it doesn't.
Oh, Azracon said Mancer is safe.
He's falling apart.
Ooh.
No, I shot him a DM too.
So okay, Azracon is out.
Trying to bug him into outbidding Cryptomancer. I think we need to see I don't know, like we can't rule out that like Bugtis or Ankh or somebody's not like just chilling there on the side. Like it's like
To his point, right? Vugtis. You got Housewife, who's won other things in the past, other competitions. So maybe they're just waiting because they didn't want to escalate this last night.
Might wake up here at the grand finale and try to like get one in at the finish line too. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I wonder if Cryptomancer sitting there watching. It's pretty late for him, over there in Japan. So maybe maybe he's staying up hoping that if somebody snipes him, he can get another like last second bid back in.
Well, it's not even here. Retrace and be like, oh no, that was a fat finger.
Mancer may be too rich.
That's a solid bid. That's more than I thought it would go for. I was thinking like 5 or 6.
Yeah, see, I'm on the same line as Blaze. Housewife has limitless funds, though. See, that's what I'm talking about. They probably mostly decide on order. So an order of the 5 gold foils.
I'm not gonna rule it out at this point. Like I still think that there's like a non-zero chance we see like somebody like Matt come in and just drop like a 10 billion.
Nah, it's not Matt. I don't even want it to be Matt.
I think 0.1 BTC was too much for for the number one. So I guess let's see. Maybe I'll go razz him up a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah. Jeff Upton's cards has been pretty quiet too.
Yeah, but this is also like 2.5x what Jeff last bid. Look, Azracon's out, Venari Syndicate's out. Housewife is the question.
Stir the pot a little bit.
Vugtis could be a question.
Love to see like the well games come out in full force here at the finish line. I mean, obviously everything's going to support the DAO.
There's a couple other names that I know that were interested.
We make here is like basically stacking on top of what we put out through this promo. So yeah, I mean to be fair, like what we're doing pretty damn good so far. I mean like I think like in general, like we were kind of like overall, hoping to at least break even and just kind of like help out the company. But let's see, we've already got 25 million deck spent on just the auctions, right?
Matt waiting for the last one.
We've
Yeah, I think so too.
But
$6,100. Wow.
around like 32 and a half right there. If you go to Legends, we can look at the Legends leaderboard, and we've already got 352 million there. So basically, like we're going to get
2.5 minutes.
400 million. We still have 3 more promos to go, and we're only 1/5 of the way through the auction. So I think this little expenditure from the DAO, paying the company to build these promos is working out gangbusters for us.
Yeah, it's been a huge success so far. So
I like that I don't have to refresh, but I still feel the itch to refresh. So let's just refresh.
Multiple cards for different levels, like bronze levels and things like that. Some smaller options happening, but it's a lot of work to create the card itself, and bring it into the game. That's why I'm a huge fan of skins. Looking forward to seeing what we can do in 25 with that. And also super thankful that the team was able to implement the mint number so fast. Obviously, it's a lot easier on a card that has a set print, right? Versus packs. So, but we're already discussing ideas on how we're going to do that, and if we can do it for Conclave Arcana.
That would be awesome.
It's looking good. It's looking really good.
You want to be able to open up your
Right,
packs
Glamour,
as
we'll
quickly as
get it all
possible
figured
then.
out, but mint numbers are important for those who play.
You see who's here in the audience now? Like Ankh is here. Are you playing the long game, Ankh? Have you been trying to tell us like, oh, don't worry, I'm like,
Yeah, I think Ankh said he was out, right?
but really you're about to just drop the hammer here in the last minute. So
International Travel Channel, what's going on? Yeah, so we're listening to the Spaces in the background with Clay and Blaze.
like looked at that new rare, the new rare that's starting in like 6 days, right? The new Hall of Legends.
All right, 45 seconds. This is it, guys. I mean, if you are going to do it, now is your chance. Oh my God! Wait, did you see Cryptomancer?
This is just too much for everybody to handle.
Guys, he just bid 14 million. Cryptomancer outbid himself at 14 million. Holy crap! With 13 seconds left. Yo, what? He just doubled his bid. Okay, he won. Why would he do that? I mean, unless he knew somebody else was gonna come through. Yo, that is nuts.
You must have got mad that I was tagging Matt.
What? 14 million DEC. Holy crap.
If somebody still outbid that would have been insane.
I've never bid, so I'm gonna bid 10K.
In the last 30 seconds, like, are you kidding?
He must have had insight into someone else coming, or somebody scared him.
Right into the history to see like who came over the top of him, right? But no, it's just him coming over the top of himself. Wow.
This is wild.
Wow.
I mean, he just must really love the DAO. Holy crap.
She has a thing for the death sweater, so I have a feeling people would agree hard on this. Didn't think that was going to happen.
That's huge.
Well, I guess
Like a new mic? I don't know.
we could try to do this again.
You see that? Yeah, this is nuts.
I do.
Just fired up to see get our engines going, but with everybody singing out, watch this.
There's definitely like that part of my brain that's like, okay, like we're not gonna see anything that crazy for the next one.
Thank you for your donation to the DAO.
I thought like whenever the first one came out and we saw it going for like 1.3 million picks, we thought like maybe they cool off at number one, but like they've been getting higher and holding, so who knows, like maybe.
All right, so Cryptomancer in Discord just said, "Yay for mint number 1 for the next 20 days. I can enjoy having the rarest card in the game."
Trying to pick up the bid, right?
I mean, Cryptomancer, I hate to be the one that says this, but it does the same thing as the regular foil ones. It just gives you a 10% bonus.
Not even like 9 or 10.
Cryptomancer's like, thanks guys. This was fun and suspenseful, dude. It was only suspenseful in your own head. Nobody else outbid you. Yo, this is crazy. Oh, but then someone said he's the king of the gold foil tournaments for a while now. That is true. All right, I'm going to.
So yeah, clearly things are not slowing down.
Can I turn the spaces off?
Strategy was hold off towards the end, like maybe like somewhere like.
No, let's see. Let's see if they have
the
any.
last third.
Let's see if Blaze has any other alpha for us.
But no, dude, like the way this is going, and the number of people that are still bidding, I don't know, man. Like,
Right, there's a lot of crypto bros too, so if the market keeps slumping, you know how it is. People just throw their money around, and as there's less and less available, more people that haven't got one yet are going to be like, hey, it's time for me to step up. I want one, for example.
I think we all do.
Yeah, well, and then also there's that issue of quartering the market, right? So you can get 5 and then set them up for rentals, and that's a business within itself. So there's going to be multiple players, I think, Azarcon and Crypto Eater that want to get more than one, so they can either hold them to flip, or just for bragging rights, or for renting on the market, or a little bit of everything. So that alone already makes them
All
more
right.
scarce, because there's that.
I'm gonna turn this off now because I don't want to talk over them. Good stuff. Holy moly, this is wild. This is absolutely wild. Let me turn the volume down now. Told you too much money. All right, so Blockchain Project says, okay, now you think Cryptomancers will be happy with that winning. Yeah, Yvonne, you won, bro. You won. Again, 5 million, 6.5 million. I mean, he doubled that, almost tripled it. Already 1.369 for a regular foil. Okay, so I guess the insanity continues. Our international travel channel, that's insane. Oh, he really needed that money. Bro, he literally took a month's worth of payments from the DAO. A month's worth of payments from the DAO and then put it right back in. So whatever we paid for land in October, it's now back in the DAO in the form of DEC. That's wild. That's hectic. All right, so Brandon says he explained why he did it. Looking at the rich list on Peak Monsters, higher than the total amount, Housewife, and Loving the Moon had in reserve. Wow. Okay, he really did not want to get outbid, and was like, you know what? Here's another extra couple grand just to make sure. All right, William Pipkin, isn't the Mighty Drake and Go for a card 1 of 1? So you know what's interesting about that, right? Going back to this. Is I wonder if the other bids came in, like because he did his bid with about 20 seconds left, and I wonder if they Housewife and someone else weren't watching, or I mean they were watching, and they tried to bid at less than 20 seconds, and the bid just didn't go through because it was no longer valid, right? We'll never know. I mean, maybe the team will know if they have can show failed transactions on the back end, but that's wild. Vlogging says, I think it was appropriate to have the first auction basically become charity for the project. Well, either way, I mean, we're at, 40 million DEC now? Almost 40 million DEC? You were outbid. Yeah, you think? Bid again. Let's see. What's it at? Oh, Crypto Eater. Does Crypto Eater have one? I don't even know. Whatever, I'm on the board now. I'm there in Splinterland's history. I don't think Crypto Eater has one. Oh no, Crypto Eater does. Just a couple ago. All right. Wow, that was wild. Not just charity, it's great marketing for SPL. Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, a lot of people are going to be talking about it. Somebody just spent, what is it, $11,000 for a card? Somebody did the math in Discord. 11,480. Thanks, Bronze Dragon. There's no way the others go that high, right? There's no way the other cards go that high. I mean, I know he was looking at the amount there for other folks, but there's no way, right? It just can't happen like that. Maybe the last one, because it'll be wild and it'll be like the end, and especially if we're in a macro like kind of bull at that point, a lot of people will have tons of extra profits to take in. All right, so Brandon says, do folks really understand what just happened? A single card sold for over $11,000. Yeah, but you know what? How much is that in ETH? that's what, less than 3 ETH, maybe. Wake me up when we have when the floor for one of the NFTs in this game is like 50 ETH. Brandon, he says, why, Brandon? All right, the last gold foil could go that high. Yeah, so I'm in the same boat as you, Brandon. Maybe the last one. I can't see the middle ones. Well, maybe. Cryptomancer was making a statement, so I don't know. We'll see. All right, is my gold foil Kelly worth 11K also? Yeah, if only. You know what you have to do to make it worth 11K? You have to buy all of the other gold foil Kellyas and then burn them. That will bring the NFT degens. I hope so, but I don't think so, Ankh. I mean, I know I'm being a little cynical here. I hope it does, but again, Splinterlands NFTs are just different than other NFTs. You can't display it as a profile pic. You can't like do all the things where it connects you to certain things. If they can find a way to connect it, right? That'd be cool. This is why, you know what? It sucks because they did Rooney already. Well, you know what? No, I actually think they need to make a reconcerted effort to get back to Rooney. Especially if NFTs are going to start taking off. We got to do something with Rooney. And not even necessarily like in the game. They have a ton of like value in the game, but like do some cool NFT type marketing to show that, hey, here's a project, NFT project that actually has utility. It's connected to a game. It lives on ETH, right? Make it fun. Make it like, I don't know. Offer something for Rooney holders outside of the game, right? Make it be like a, I don't know. Think of like Neo Tokyo, for example, right? That's obviously one of the popular ones where you connect a bunch of like gaming individuals. Well, do something like that for Rooney holders on ETH. It doesn't even necessarily have to do with the game. Just focus on giving more utility and value to Rooney, right? Outside of Splinterlands. Now it could be Splinterlands adjacent. Yeah, I don't know. All right, Brandon says, unless they announce the next auction card prior to 5 gold foil and the next auction starts. I hope they don't. I think that there's a lot that they need to do beforehand. My thought process was, if they're going to do another auction, the earliest that me, as somebody who doesn't buy, but as just like, you know, in my very subjective personal evaluation of like Splinterlands evolution, I do not think that they should do it any earlier than May, and late May at best, probably even June. And the reason for that is they're going to celebrate 7 years in May. So you can do like a 7-year anniversary where you have maybe 7 copies of something or 70 copies of something. And that would be fun. That would be cool. And then you can essentially run that for the summer, right? That makes your summer kind of fun the way that we've had this over the winter months here. So and again, they have too much going on outside with land, potentially Glamour, of course, Conclave Arcana, right? There's a bunch of other things that people will be able to spend money on over the next couple of months, or like we'll call it like Q1 into Q2 of next year. So I really would not want them to do another auction until end of May at the earliest, and run it. And like I said, I think it's perfect. 7 years, make 70 copies of something, run it over the summer, and it'll be a summer of Splinterlands. Yvonne, all right, only 4 left. Who knows? People will battle for the second one and then third. Yeah, we'll see. Next gold foil will be over 7 million DEC. Well, I think we'll definitely hit 6 million. 7 million remains to be seen if people are willing to spend that much, but because again, we don't know if other people were willing to bid that high. They had the DEC, but were they actually going to do it? I don't know. All right, when is the next gold foil? Just so that we can see. All right. Oh, perfect timing for when I said the market's going to pick back up. If Bitcoin crosses 100K around like this mid-December time frame, yeah, people might get a little crazy for gold foil number 2. All right, vlogging says others will not go this high because they don't have number 1. Last one will likely be expensive, but I also predict that the max is 10 million. Okay. Start with Rooney's Evergreen. Always modern eligible. I mean, again, I would love all of that stuff. And I would love all that stuff to be in Splinterlands, right? But I'm saying you could do some cool stuff outside of Splinterlands. So basically, what am I trying to get at here? You want to have an appeal to folks who don't necessarily care about gaming or who don't necessarily care about, Splinterlands itself or Hive or whatever. Just make it so that like Rooney is like fun to be a part of, right? Do contests and do things with Rooney outside of this and really appeal to the NFT community on ETH, or even, there's a huge NFT community both on ETH and Solana. So I don't know. I'm going to think through some ideas. Maybe we'll even ask ChatGPT. Yvonne saying new Rooney. I mean, again, see what? But here's the thing with new Rooney, and I know obviously this personally affects me because then I have to buy the new one, right? But what you don't want to do is devalue the old stuff. We were promised a lot of really cool things with Rooney that we never got. If they're going to sell a new Rooney and then say, yeah, well, with this one, you'll be able to do all these cool things. Somebody cynical like myself is going to be like, yeah, you know what? You kind of sold us on the last one that we'd be able to change parts and we would get all these cool, access to things and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I may not participate in that. And I don't think that I'd be the only one. I think Rooney is still underutilized, we'll say, which if the utility is given properly, then of course it could be undervalued as well. That they need to go back and just revisit that, right? Let Rooney have its day in the sun during a bull run. Don't just launch another one. Don't just leave it on the wayside. Make it a part of the true NFT DGen community. That's not on Hive. That's not about Splinterlands. Just make it something awesome, right? I mean, people love all these other different NFT collections out there. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm not even like a part of the NFT like movement and culture. So I have no idea what it is that they do and the types of communities, but obviously there's a huge thing within Splinterlands, which is great. And we'll have that. We'll always have that. But there's got to be something outside of Splinterlands too. And or at least I believe that there is an opportunity outside of Splinterlands that they can really tap into that will start to pull other people in. And then all of a sudden you're going to have these massive, this is what we were sold on with Rooney, right? You make Rooney freaking awesome as an NFT collection, not as a card in the game, as an NFT collection. And then you have other people aping in. All of these ETH whales coming in and buying it. And then you're like, hey, now that you're part of this community, did you know but wait, there's more with Rooney. Like you can also use it in the game, connect it to your Hive wallet or your Hive, thing, and you can play with it in the game. But that's just like a nice add-on. It's still just awesome on its own. And right now it's not even awesome on its own. Nobody knows about it. Nobody cares about it. In fact, hold on, I'm going to look it up here just because OpenSea tends to be slow. OpenSea Rooney. Let's see if I can find it here. Floor price is 0.013 ETH. I don't even know how much is that. $400. Yeah, I'm going to say. And what's the volume on this? Total volume is 818 ETH, but how much is like the 24-hour or the last month volume? all time. I want the last 24 hours. Nothing in the last 24 hours. Okay, that's fine. Last 7 days. Why do they give me a total here? .2, .12. Okay, that's not much. All right, whatever. That's fine. Okay. Well, let's shoot, it's been an hour. Of course it has. Let's start to wrap up. Let me run through the rest of the chat here. Banana says, yeah, it was strongly suggested that we were really going to want to own Rooney. Rooney happened exactly as I expected, to be honest. My bar was low, didn't buy in. I regret so much getting into land, spent $900. Now this is worth $60 and only burdens me. Yeah. Oh, speaking of land, I haven't checked on my land in a while. Damn it. I always forget because, like you, I no longer care. Oh, just made it 6 days ago. Let's do this. Harvest. And then harvest all. I'm glad we talked about land. Thanks for the reminder, guys. Okay, now that that's done, maybe this Rooney isn't cool enough for NFT General, so cooler. Oh. All right, so Brandon, if Rooney was evergreen in Modern, that only helps the owner if he actually plays Modern. Well, it would give them something to play in Modern. I mean, it's just a nice to have, you know, like it's like a little added benefit. These projects don't really go well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dead NFT projects out there. Always, when they promise us a lot and say we can't miss out, it's a sign it's a bad product, and they will only sell by marketing it this way. If only I saved up all this money, I would have entered the auction now. Well, you know, here's the thing. I say this as just, again, in practical terms. I'm not trying to be negative here. But you're always going to pay a premium on something at the front end. Like, I genuinely believe that, and I've said this before, if you buy something when it first comes out, you're going to pay the premium. It will always be cheaper later. There will always be a cheaper time. So we've seen that with literally everything, right? Cards, when packs first get opened and ripped, they're super expensive, right? Over time, that price tends to go down. Like there will always be a cheaper time. Now, hopefully, as time goes on and as the game grows, you know, organically and slowly over time, hopefully the idea is that in the long run, stuff goes up. Again, not drastically and dramatically the way that we saw with the last bull run and Untamed and all that, but they just have more value in the long run, slowly and steadily. Some of them, at least. But for the most part, everything is cheaper at a later point. Validators, Rooney, pretty much every promo card out there. All right, so like look at the promo cards that are out there right now. I will bet you this. And gold foil of Heloise is probably not the best example because we don't know what the other average prices are going to be. But Heloise, the other 95 copies of them, I bet you they're going to be cheaper on the secondary market at some point in the next 3 years, cheaper than 1.3 million DEC. Look at Lux Vega. Look at Dr. Blight. Look at pretty much any, look at Waka, right? So I'm not saying you shouldn't buy early. Buy early if you want, but understand that you're going to pay a premium. You're always going to pay a premium on that. So this is why, like, I've become incredibly patient with Splinterlands. So patient that I am willing to wait another 2 years when we get into the next bear market and we have another, you know, excess 10 billion DEC and everybody starts leaving the game. That's when I'll buy some of these Rebellion cards, if I feel like it, right? That's when I'll buy some of these Rebellion promo cards, if I feel like it. But yeah. All right. New Age says, don't remind me of my 22 Rooney waited something good to happen on land. Yeah. Land's another one. Pre-sold the hell out of that. But, hopefully we'll get 1 point something next year. All right. Let's see auction. This might be the most boring one. Crypto Eater just went in and did his thing, so we shall see. All right, guys. Well, I need to get my day started. I need to go hit the gym, finish packing, get some work done before I leave. So I will say this. I don't know what my I don't know what my schedule is going to be like over the next couple of days. It's a holiday here in the US. So I will try to continue to do videos. I will see if I can live stream. Maybe, I don't know about tomorrow, but probably on Friday I'll have some free time. So hopefully nothing too crazy happens and everybody just enjoys the holiday. But in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I know even though some of you guys are not US based, I just want to say thank you for spending as much time with me as you guys do. It is really appreciated. It's been fun. It's been a brutal bear market. This is a project that I think we've all either come to, know and love or love to hate for some of the folks out there. So, this is the time we've all been waiting for. And hopefully things will improve and we will get the bull run that we were promised. And everybody will finally be in the green again. But either way, appreciate you guys for hanging out, for sticking it through, and for just spending time. And yeah, that's all I got. I'm not going to get too sappy. Have an amazing holiday weekend for those of you celebrating. Be safe. Anybody else that's traveling. And if you're not celebrating, if you're not, well, then just have a good weekend up ahead. I will try to catch up with you guys very soon. But if I don't, well, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.